Archangel Michael is crying. He says you've been ignoring the message that can set you free. Will you finally listen this time? My beloved child, there is a trembling in the heavens tonight, a quiet sorrow that even the angels cannot hide. Archangel Michael is not roaring in battle, not standing with his flaming sword raised high. He is crying, and his tears are falling for you. Because he says you have been ignoring the one message that could unlock your freedom, your peace, your clarity, and your destiny. And today he asks only one question. Will you finally listen this time? From the moment you woke up, something has been tugging at your spirit. A whisper in the back of your mind, a strange pull in your chest, a sense that something important has been trying to reach you. You thought it was stress. You thought it was your imagination. But it wasn't. It was Archangel Michael, standing right next to your life, watching you walk through battles that were never meant to destroy you, battles you were meant to overcome with divine strength. He says there has been a message hovering over your life for weeks, maybe even months. A message meant to break the chains that had held you down, the doubts, the repeated pain cycles, the emotional storms, the loneliness, the fear of the unknown. And every time the message tried to land, you got distracted, overwhelmed, or pulled away. Not because you didn't care, but because the enemy has been doing everything possible to keep you from hearing what heaven has been trying to tell you. And that is why Michael's voice is shaking today. He doesn't cry from weakness. He cries when destiny is at risk. He cries when someone chosen is standing at the edge of breakthrough, but doesn't even know it. He cries when a message from God is hovering above a soul that has forgotten how powerful they truly are. Listen carefully, because what comes next is the reason you were pulled to this video. Michael says there is a pattern in your life, something repeating again and again. A wound you keep revisiting, a disappointment you keep reliving, a person you keep trusting even though your spirit already told you to walk away. A fear that keeps rising no matter how many times you try to silence it. Heaven has been trying to show you the meaning behind this pattern, but the noise around you has been louder than the whisper within you. And now, Archangel Michael wants to break that cycle. He stands at your door, not knocking softly but pounding. The kind of pounding that shakes the ground around you. He says, "My chosen one, this is the last moment before the shift. If you ignore this message again, the delay will hurt more than the truth." Feel the weight of those words. There are messages you can afford to miss, but this is not one of them. You have been asking God for a sign, something clear, something powerful, something impossible to misunderstand. And heaven is answering through this very moment. Michael says the sign is already placed before you. The message that will free you is not coming tomorrow. It is happening now. Something in your spirit already knows this. But chills, the heaviness, the sudden silence around you, these are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Michael wants to open your eyes to the truth you have been avoiding. Someone or something in your environment is draining your light. A presence that dims your confidence, weakens your peace, or keeps you tied to emotions that no longer belong in your future. You have sensed it. You have felt it. You have tried to ignore it. But heaven is bringing it to the surface now, because ignoring it is costing you too much. He whispers, "My child, the message you have been avoiding is the message that will set you free from what has been holding you back." Heaven is preparing a separation, a divine lifting, a shift that will move you from confusion into clarity, from emotional exhaustion into spiritual strength, from survival mode into purpose mode. But this shift cannot begin until you are willing to hear what the angels have been trying to tell you. And that is why this moment matters more than you realize. Before this day ends, something will align, a realization, a conversation, a sign so clear that even your doubts will fall silent. Archangel Michael says, the truth will not hurt you. It will free you. But you must listen. So stay here with me. Stay in this message. Because the revelation that comes next is the peace you've been missing, the light you've been searching for, the confirmation heaven has been trying to deliver. And trust me, you do not want to miss what is about to unfold. This is where everything begins to make sense. Type "I awaken" to the message in the comments if this is touching your spirit. Blessing code 1444 is now released over you. My cherished soul, there is a stirring around you right now that you cannot see with your physical eyes, but your spirit has already begun to feel it. Archangel Michael is moving closer, not with the quiet sadness he carried before, but with a rising fire that has been waiting for you to finally look inward. He knows the truth you have ignored. He knows the message you pushed aside because you feared what it might change. And he knows the weight you have been carrying on your shoulders, pretending you were strong enough to hold everything together. But heaven sees deeper than your silence, and Michael is now stepping forward because there is something in your life that can no longer remain hidden. He says you have been living in two worlds at once, the world you show others, and the world you keep buried within yourself. On the outside, you look strong, steady, calm, capable. But inside, you have been fighting battles you do not tell anyone about. There are nights when your thoughts will not quiet down, mornings when the heaviness makes it hard to rise, moments when you feel like your heart is being pulled in opposite directions. You have tried to keep your focus. You have tried to trust. You have tried to remain stable even when everything around you felt unstable. But the pressure has built up so much that the angels can no longer stay silent. Michael says the message you've been avoiding is not a message of judgment. It is a message of liberation. You have been praying for a breakthrough, but sometimes breakthrough arrives in the form of truth. A truth that reveals what has been draining you. A truth that shows who has been taking more than they give. A truth that exposes where your peace has been leaking. And heaven says you cannot step into your next chapter while holding on to what has already expired in your spirit. There is someone or something in your environment that heaven has been highlighting for weeks. You have noticed subtle shifts. You have seen signs in conversations that felt strange or heavy. You have sensed tension that appeared out of nowhere. You have felt your energy shift when certain people enter the room, or your mind drifts to certain memories. These sensations are not random. They are spiritual alarm bells. And Archangel Michael says that every time you felt that inner tug, it was him trying to get your attention. But you silenced the warning. Not because you were blind, but because you are compassionate. You hold on to people longer than you should. You give more chances than they deserve. You try to understand even when the other person makes no effort to change. And heaven admires your heart. But Michael says your kindness has been used against you. Someone has benefited from your silence. Someone has taken advantage of your willingness to forgive. Someone has been feeding on the emotional energy that you did not realize you were giving away. Michael's voice becomes firm as he speaks. My child, you cannot walk into your anointed season while carrying the weight of someone who refuses to grow with you. You have elevated in spirit. You have matured emotionally. You have survived storms that others would have collapsed under. And because of your growth, certain connections, habits, or attachments no longer match your frequency. The discomfort you've been feeling is the spiritual friction between who you used to be and who heaven is shaping you into now. This message is the key you've been ignoring. You are outgrowing what has been holding you back. But here is the divine twist Michael wants you to understand. When heaven begins to elevate someone, their surroundings begin to react. Sometimes people pull away. Sometimes they behave strangely. Sometimes they show their true intentions. Sometimes situations become uncomfortable so that you can no longer stay where you once were. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. You might wonder why things suddenly feel different. Why familiar places feel smaller. Why certain conversations feel empty. Why certain connections feel forced. And Michael says it is because your spirit is awakening to truth. You cannot pretend not to see what God has already revealed. You cannot continue ignoring the message that has returned to you over and over. You cannot keep postponing the decision that your soul has already made. Heaven is not trying to break your heart. Heaven is trying to free it. Michael stands before you now, no longer crying, but watching you with a fierce and protective presence. He says there is a moment coming very soon when everything will click. A moment where the truth becomes undeniable. And once you see it clearly, you will never again question why heaven tried so hard to get your attention. He whispers one final line for this moment. My child, what is about to be revealed is not meant to scare you. It is meant to lift you. And when it unfolds, you will finally understand why Archangel Michael refused to let this message pass you by. Hold on to this. Do not pull away now. What comes next will open your eyes to something you have needed to see for a long time. Something that will shift the atmosphere of your entire life. Before you move forward, pause for a moment. Feel the stillness around you. Heaven is preparing the ground beneath your feet. Type "I hear the truth" in the comments if this message is awakening something inside you. Blessing code 3311 is now released upon your path. My radiant one, there is a trembling in the spiritual realm tonight, and it is not the trembling of fear. It is the trembling that happens when truth begins to rise, when illusions begin to break, when a soul finally reaches the point where it can no longer remain asleep. Archangel Michael steps forward again, his presence sharper, clearer, more powerful than before, because you are entering the part of the message that heaven has been waiting for you to finally receive. This is where everything begins to unfold. This is where the veil begins to lift. This is where the truth you have avoided starts shining directly into your spirit. Michael says you have been living in a quiet tug-of-war within yourself. On one side, you feel the calling to rise higher, to break free, to stand in your purpose, to reclaim your peace. On the other side, you feel the pull of old patterns, old attachments, old fears, and old versions of yourself that keep trying to drag you backward. The reason you feel conflicted is not because you are lost. It is because you are transforming. You are shedding a version of yourself that no longer fits the future God is preparing for you. And transformation never happens in silence. It always comes with friction. Heaven says the place you are stepping into now requires a level of clarity that leaves no room for confusion. That is why the message Michael brings today is intense, urgent, and impossible to ignore. He says there is someone or something in your life that has been blocking your spiritual hearing. It is subtle. It is quiet. It is deceptive. But it has kept you from seeing the full picture. You have been carrying emotional weight that does not belong to you. You have been fixing what was never yours to fix. You have been absorbing energy that was never meant to enter your spirit. Michael says, my child, the reason you feel tired is not because you are weak. It is because you have been carrying burdens that were never yours. There is a truth that heaven has been trying to reveal to you, but every time it came close, something pulled you away. A distraction, a familiar comfort, a fear of what would change if you saw things clearly. But now, heaven says no more. No more postponing your freedom. No more ignoring what your spirit already knows. No more shrinking yourself to protect someone else's comfort. Michael is not crying anymore, but the sorrow in his voice still lingers because he remembers every moment when you were hurting and hiding it from the world. He remembers the nights when you stayed awake replaying conversations that drained you. He remembers the moments when your intuition screamed the truth, but your heart refused to listen. He remembers every time you said you were fine when you were actually breaking. And he says God has heard every unspoken prayer, every buried fear, every silent hope. And now heaven is responding. You are about to see a shift in your life, but this shift will begin with revelation. Someone's true intentions will show. A truth will rise to the surface. The pattern will become undeniable. A hidden motive will be exposed. None of this is meant to harm you. It is meant to free you. Because freedom always begins with clarity, and clarity is the message Michael has been trying to deliver to you for so long. He says, you have been loyal to people who have not been loyal to your destiny. This is the message you once ignored. This is the message you felt but didn't want to confirm. This is the message heaven is now placing right in front of you, so you can no longer push it aside. There is a connection in your life that has been dimming your light. You have tried to maintain it. You have tried to understand it. You have tried to justify it. But heaven says the imbalance has gone on too long. And Michael stands with his sword drawn, because he is ready to cut away what you have been too afraid to release. But do not fear. This is not loss. This is alignment. This is heaven redirecting your steps so your destiny can finally unfold without limitation. Heaven says your spirit is entering a new frequency. A frequency where peace becomes non-negotiable. A frequency where truth becomes your foundation. A frequency where your intuition speaks louder than your fear. And the moment you step into this new atmosphere, the heaviness you have been feeling will begin to disappear. Pay close attention to the coming days. A message will reach you. A sign will appear. A conversation will reveal something important. A realization will hit your spirit so strongly that you will know without a doubt, this is the truth Michael wanted you to finally hear. Stay with this message. Do not drift away now. The most powerful revelation is right ahead of you, and heaven does not want you to miss it. Everything is building toward a moment that will change the way you see your life, your connections, and your path. Hold your spirit steady. What comes next will awaken something deep within you. Type "I receive the truth of heaven" in the comments. Blessing code 5500 is now activated over your life. Now, take a moment to like, comment, share, hype this message, and subscribe so this divine word reaches more souls who need it. Your engagement strengthens the mission. As this word settles in your spirit, let me speak directly to those who feel the weight of this message. When Archangel Michael reveals truth, it is not only to set you free, it is to help others find freedom through you. Every time you support this channel through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into a mission that carries light into dark places. This is not just giving, this is planting spiritual seed into a field that touches thousands of souls. God says, where you sow, I will cause increase, and that promise becomes living and active when you release support with intention. I feel led to tell you this directly. Your generosity becomes a sword of light in the hands of heaven. As you give, may the windows of revelation open over your own life. Step into this prophetic moment and move with the boldness of faith. My awakened one, there is a shift taking place around you right now. A spiritual rearranging that has been slowly building beneath the surface of your life. Archangel Michael steps forward again, and this time his presence carries a new level of intensity, a sharper edge, as though he is preparing you for a moment that will redefine how you see everything. He knows you are ready. He knows your spirit is beginning to open. He knows the message you ignored in the past is no longer something you can run from, because your destiny is pressing forward with divine force. Michael says there is a reason your heart has felt unsettled recently, even on days when nothing seems visibly wrong. You have been sensing spiritual movement, even before you understood it. Your intuition has been alert. Your dreams have shifted. Your thoughts have grown louder. Your emotions have become more sensitive. You have been feeling the truth before hearing it, and heaven wants you to know that this is not imagination. This is preparation. Your spirit has been waking up to a message that is rising toward you like a wave you can no longer hold back. Heaven says you have been in a cycle that was never meant to be permanent. A cycle of getting too much. A cycle of holding on too tightly. A cycle of hoping someone would meet you where you stood. A cycle of investing in situations that do not invest back. You remained there because you cared. You remained there because you believed things would change. You remained there because letting go felt like losing, even though holding on was costing you more than you admitted. And heaven has been watching all of it with compassion, understanding, and deep patience. Michael steps closer and says, "You have carried the weight of other people's chaos for too long. Now heaven is asking you to carry only what belongs to your purpose." This is part of the message you had ignored before, not because you were careless, but because you were loyal. You are the type of soul who wants to see the good in others, who believes in what they can become, who holds on to potential even when reality shows otherwise. But Michael reveals that potential is not enough to build your future. And someone connected to you has been relying on your strength while refusing to stand in their own. This imbalance has been the silent thief of your peace, and now heaven is ready to expose it fully so you can finally step into emotional freedom. He says there is a truth you sensed long ago, but you buried it because facing it felt too heavy. You noticed inconsistencies. You saw patterns that didn't align. You felt drained after certain interactions. You felt confused when you should have felt supported. You felt spiritually heavy when you should have felt safe. These are signs heaven placed before you, but you pushed them aside because acknowledging them would have required change that felt too big at the time. But the message heaven is delivering now is unmistakable. You cannot heal in the same environment that keeps wounding you. Michael is preparing to lift something from your shoulders, a burden you normalize, a responsibility that was never yours, a fear that has kept you cautious, a connection that has kept you small. He wants you to understand that the sense of heaviness you have been carrying is not a flaw in your character. It is a sign that your spirit has outgrown the circumstances around you. There is something heaven is getting ready to reveal to you, something that will confirm what you have been feeling in your soul. It may come through a sudden realization. It may come through an unexpected conversation. It may come through a sign so clear that your spirit will no longer be able to deny it. And Michael says when that moment arrives, you will finally understand why he has been crying, watching, and waiting for you to listen. You have been asking God for direction. You have been praying for clarity. You have been hoping for answers that feel solid, undeniable, impossible to misinterpret. And heaven is giving you exactly that. Not through confusion, not through drama, not through fear, but through truth. Pure, honest, divine truth. Michael says, the message that sets you free is the message that reveals what has been binding you. Heaven does not want you walking blindly anymore. They want your eyes open, your heart steady, and your spirit strong, because what comes next in your life requires you to move with confidence, not hesitation. You cannot build a future on uncertainty. You cannot rise in purpose while being pulled backward. You cannot carry spiritual light while being drained by emotional shadows. There is something in your life that is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. You have felt it slipping. You have felt it shifting. You have felt it becoming heavier, more complicated, more distant. That is heaven's way of telling you that the season for this attachment is ending. And the moment you release what heaven has been trying to remove, you will feel the weight lift instantly. Michael wants you to prepare your spirit for a breakthrough that begins with truth. A truth you once ignored but can no longer avoid. A truth that will feel like fresh air entering lungs that have been suffocating. A truth that will restore your clarity and awaken your inner power. Stay present. Stay attentive. Something is aligning in the unseen realm right now. And trust me, you will want to hear what comes next, because the revelation approaching you has the power to change everything. Type "I stand in divine clarity" in the comments if your spirit is receiving this message. Blessing code 9090 is now released over your journey. My courageous heart, there is a quiet echo moving through your spirit right now. A vibration that feels almost like a memory you can't place, but can't ignore. That is the sound of alignment. That is the moment your soul realizes it is standing on the edge of something sacred. Archangel Michael is closer than before, watching you with the intensity of someone who knows a secret that is about to be revealed. His wings are not flared in battle this time. They are folded with profound reverence, because he knows you are about to step into a chapter that will require every ounce of clarity, strength, and awareness you carry. Michael says the reason this message feels heavy in your chest is because your spirit has reached a point of no return. You can no longer pretend not to see what heaven has already revealed. You can no longer silence the truth rising inside you. You can no longer keep shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold your destiny. There is a turning point coming, a shift that will not wait for you to feel entirely ready. And heaven says that is intentional. Growth does not wait for comfort. Purpose does not wait for certainty. Divine timing does not wait for permission. You have been feeling stretched recently, almost as though your spirit is being pulled forward while something behind you tries desperately to hold you in place. That tension is a sign. Heaven says you are being called into a higher level of spiritual awareness, and the weight you feel is the resistance of your old self trying to stay alive. But your old self cannot follow you into this next season. Your old fears cannot guide your future. Your old wounds cannot be the lens through which you make new decisions. And your old patterns cannot shape the path heaven is laying before you. Michael steps in and says, you are standing at the doorway between who you were forced to be and who you were born to be. This is why your emotions have been unpredictable. This is why your thoughts have been louder. This is why certain people or situations that once felt normal now feel draining or confusing. Your spirit is rejecting what no longer matches your frequency. And instead of trying to return to what once felt familiar, heaven is urging you to move forward, even if forward feels uncertain. There is a truth rising in the center of your life, and Michael says the moment it becomes clear, you will feel a release that you have been craving for far too long. It will feel like stepping out of a dark room into bright morning light. It will feel like taking your first real breath after holding it for years. Heaven is preparing to show you why certain connections have weakened, why certain people have pulled away, why certain opportunities closed, and why certain situations became uncomfortable. None of this was punishment. It was preparation. Michael's voice grows steady as he says, you asked for peace. You asked for clarity. You asked for freedom. Heaven is giving you all three. But truth must open the door. The message you ignored in the past, the one Michael cried over, is the very message that is returning now with force. You were not ready before. Your heart was still tied to something that could not grow with you. Your spirit was still tangled in loyalties that did not belong to your future. But now your soul is awakening. You are seeing what you once overlooked. You are feeling what you once dismissed. And heaven is preparing to bring everything you need into the light. There is someone whose influence, direct or subtle, has been affecting your emotions more deeply than you realize. Their words linger in your mind longer than they should. Their energy interferes with your peace more often than you admit. Their presence creates confusion instead of clarity. You tried to adapt. You tried to compromise. You tried to remain patient. But Michael says the spiritual imbalance is too strong, and heaven will no longer allow you to carry the emotional consequences of someone else's unresolved battles. Heaven wants you to see this without fear. The truth will not break you. It will build you. It will lift you. It will fortify you. It will make you wiser, stronger, more grounded, and more discerned than ever before. And once the truth arrives, fully, clearly, unmistakably, you will never again question whether heaven has been guiding you. You will see the fingerprints of divine protection all over your past. Michael says the next revelation will come unexpectedly. It may appear in a moment of silence. It may appear in a dream that feels too vivid to ignore. It may appear in a conversation that shifts everything. It may appear in a sudden realization that hits your heart like lightning. But however it arrives, you will know instantly that heaven orchestrated it. And when it comes, your spirit will whisper, "This is why I needed to see. This is the truth I have been avoiding. This is the message that sets me free." Stay present. Do not rush away from what your soul is experiencing right now. You are standing inside a divine transition, one that will redirect your steps and anchor your destiny in ways you could never have created on your own. Michael is already clearing the path in front of you. Heaven is already preparing the revelation. Something powerful is approaching your life. Something that will shift everything you thought you understood. Hold steady. What comes next will open your eyes in a way that nothing else has. Type "I accept my divine rising" in the comments if this message is speaking to your inner truth. Blessing code 1818 is now released over your spirit. My steady soul, there is a quiet awakening unfolding within you right now, a slow but undeniable rising of truth that you can no longer shut out. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your awareness, not as a distant guardian, but as a fierce protector who has been patiently waiting for this moment, waiting for you to finally become ready to receive what heaven has been preparing to reveal. His presence feels different now, heavier in authority, clearer in intention, almost as though he is holding something in his hands that he has been waiting to place into yours. And this time, you are ready to hold it. Michael says the reason this message feels so deeply personal is because it is. Heaven has been watching a specific struggle in your life for far too long, a struggle you tried to hide from others and sometimes even from yourself. You have carried emotions that were heavier than you admitted. You have walked through days where your spirit felt numb, where your heart felt stuck, where your clarity felt blurred. You thought you were simply tired, but heaven says your spirit was exhausted from fighting a battle that was not yours to fight. And now Michael wants to free you from that weight. He says the message you once ignored, the one that brought tears to his eyes, is connected to someone whose presence has had more power over you than you realized. Not power in dominance, but power in impact. Their energy seeped into your thoughts. Their behavior influenced your emotions. Their patterns kept you confused. Their unpredictability kept you anxious. And though part of you sensed something was off, another part of you kept trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Not because you were blind, but because your loyalty runs deeper than most people understand. Heaven has seen that loyalty. They honor it. But Michael says loyalty becomes bondage when given to someone who does not honor your spirit in return. You have been living with an invisible imbalance, one that drained you while you convinced yourself everything was normal. But the truth is this: your soul has been whispering for release long before your mind found the courage to even consider it. That whisper was Archangel Michael trying to guide you. That uneasy feeling in your chest was divine warning. That heaviness after certain interactions was spiritual misalignment. You were not imagining these signs. You were being guided. Michael reveals something powerful. You have been absorbing emotional storms that were never meant for your shoulders. You stepped into a role you were never supposed to carry. You tried to be the healer, the comforter, the supporter, the understanding one. You carried burdens that were not yours. You tried to fix pain you did not cause. You tried to stabilize someone who refused to stabilize themselves. And heaven watched with compassion as your spirit stretched itself thin, trying to maintain peace that was not your responsibility in the first place. But something has changed. Your soul is rising. Your intuition is sharper. Your tolerance for emotional imbalance is fading. This is not you becoming distant. This is you becoming aligned. You are stepping into spiritual maturity, and that maturity is calling you to recognize what lifts you and what drains you. Heaven says you cannot carry someone else's chaos while stepping into your own clarity. You cannot be the anchor while also being the lifeboat. You cannot build your destiny while constantly patching the cracks in someone else's. A revelation is coming, quiet but unmistakable. It will not come through drama. It will not come through conflict. It will come through clarity, through a moment where heaven aligns circumstances so precisely that you cannot miss the truth. A moment where something said, something done, or something realized will make your spirit say, "This is it. This is what I have been sensing all along." This revelation will not break you. It will free you. It will give language to emotions you could not explain. It will show you why Michael has been fighting for your attention. It will reveal the spiritual lesson behind the attachment you struggled to release. And once the truth settles in your heart, you will understand why heaven had to intervene now. Why they refused to let you go another day in confusion, in exhaustion, in emotional fog. Michael's message grows stronger. You are not losing someone. You are reclaiming yourself. You are reclaiming the pieces of you that were scattered. You are reclaiming the confidence that was dim. You are reclaiming the intuition you ignored. You are reclaiming the joy that was overshadowed. You are reclaiming the clarity you once had but lost along the way. And when this reclaiming begins, your spirit will feel lighter than it has felt in years. You will no longer wake up with unexplained heaviness. You will no longer second-guess what your intuition is trying to say. You will no longer feel the emotional pull that kept you stuck. Heaven is preparing an emotional reset for you. A cleansing, purification, a renewal. The kind of shift that changes the trajectory of your entire life. And this message is guiding you toward that transformation. Pay close attention to the signs. Pay attention to the conversations that suddenly feel different. Pay attention to the dreams that feel symbolic. Pay attention to the moments of sudden clarity. Pay attention to the shift in your own energy. You are standing at the start of divine transition, and heaven is making sure you do not walk into the next chapter blind. Hold your spirit steady. What comes next is necessary. And what comes after is beautiful. Type "I rise through truth" in the comments as this message is awakening something deep within you. Blessing code 7077 is now released over your path. My rising one, there is a profound stillness forming around your spirit. The kind of stillness that appears only when heaven's preparing to reveal something that will shift the direction of your life. Archangel Michael is standing closer than ever, and his presence feels like a shield made of truth itself. He is no longer whispering. He is no longer waiting. He is no longer watching from the sidelines. He is standing in front of you with the authority of someone who knows the exact moment destiny begins to turn, and he says that moment is now. You are entering a part of your journey where heaven refuses to let you remain blind or bound any longer. Michael says your spirit has been sensing change long before your mind was ready to admit it. There have been days when you felt unsettled for no clear reason. Moments when your heart suddenly tightened with a strange awareness. Nights when you felt watched over, not by fear, but by guidance. These were not random feelings. These were divine signals, heaven's way of preparing you for revelation that will bring closure, clarity, and completion to something that has been lingering in your life for far too long. He says the truth you are approaching is not new. It is something you felt before. Something your intuition whispered. Something your heart recognized. But you were not ready to accept it then. You were still attached. You were still hoping. You were still trying to understand. You were still giving your energy to places that did not know what to do with your life. And because of that, the message Michael brought earlier could not land in your spirit. You heard it, but you did not receive it. But now, everything is different. Your soul has grown. Your vision has sharpened. Your emotional intelligence has evolved. Your spirit has become stronger than the weight of your old attachments. And heaven says you are finally ready to see what they tried to show you before. Michael reveals that someone in your life has been creating spiritual noise around you. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but through their own unresolved wounds, unhealed patterns, and repeated cycles. Their presence has affected your clarity. Their inconsistency has affected your peace. Their energy has affected your balance. And though part of you sensed something was off, you continued trying to be the stabilizer, the peacemaker, the strong one. But heaven says something powerful. You cannot be the anchor in someone else's storm when that storm keeps pulling you under. This is the message you avoided. This is the truth you tried not to see. This is the warning Michael carried when he cried, because he saw how much you were giving and how little you were receiving. He saw how much you were sacrificing and how little you were being replenished. He saw how much you were hoping and how much it was hurting you. There is a spiritual pattern in your life that is coming to an end, and Michael says you must not fight this ending. Heaven says that endings are often disguised beginnings, and what you thought you were losing is actually being replaced by something greater, healthier, stronger, more aligned with your destiny. He says the reason you've been feeling the need to withdraw, reflect, and reevaluate is because heaven is pulling you into a higher dimension of awareness. You are seeing people differently. You are recognizing energies differently. You are feeling intentions differently. You are catching signs you used to overlook. This is not paranoia. This is elevation. This is discernment. This is spiritual maturity awakening inside you. Michael says you are about to receive a sign that will connect all the pieces, something that will make everything make sense at once. It may come through a comment someone makes. It may come through a shift in behavior. It may come through a revelation that hits your heart without warning. It may come through an event that exposes what you were never meant to stay blind to. But when it comes, you will know. You will feel the truth settle in your chest. You will feel your breath deepen. You will feel a sudden calm. You will feel a release, almost like a spiritual exhale your soul has been holding back for a long time. And in that moment, you will understand why heaven waited until now to reveal it. Michael says, "My child, the truth is not coming to destroy you. It is coming to free you. It is coming to return your power. It is coming to realign your path. Someone's influence over your emotions is breaking. A spiritual attachment is dissolving. A cycle that drained you is ending. And heaven is stepping in to ensure you do not repeat that chapter again. You are stepping into a season of clarity, a season of peace, a season of divine boundaries, a season where your heart will no longer bend just to keep something or someone from breaking. You are rising into your original strength, the strength heaven placed inside you before life taught you to dim it. Something powerful is approaching, something that will shift how you see everything. Stay close to this message. Stay aware. Heaven is unraveling the truth piece by piece, and the next revelation will transform your understanding of the past, present, and future. Hold your spirit steady. The next moment is one your soul has been waiting for. Type "I walk in unstoppable clarity" in the comments if your spirit is aligning with this message. Blessing code 6446 is now released over your life. I illuminated 1. There is a stirring in the atmosphere around you, a spiritual hum that feels like the quiet moment before revelation breaks open. Archangel Michael is standing so close now that his presence feels like a pressure against your spirit, not heavy, but powerful, an unmistakable reminder that heaven is guiding every step you are taking in this moment. His eyes do not carry the sorrow they held before. Now they carry certainty. Now they carry the authority of truth, long overdue. Now they carry the knowing that you are ready to confront what your spirit has been preparing for all along. Michael says the transformation within you has already begun. Even if you cannot see it clearly, your spirit has been shifting with every breath, rising with every moment of awareness, cutting through illusions you once believed were unbreakable. He says there is a new strength forming inside you, one forged from every moment of confusion you survived, every emotional battle you fought alone, every night you questioned your worth, every day you held on when you wanted to walk away. Heaven honored every tear you didn't show, every prayer you whispered, every moment you pushed through, even when your soul felt tired. And now, because of that endurance, you are being guided into a revelation that will mark a turning point in your journey. Michael speaks firmly as he says, there is something you need to see, a truth that will release you from the cycle you did not realize you were trapped in. For so long, someone or something in your life has been influencing your emotions on a level deeper than you recognize. Their actions may not have seemed extreme. Their words may not have sounded harmful. Their presence may not have looked dangerous. But their energy, their inconsistency, their silence, their unpredictability, their emotional imbalance, these things slowly chipped away at your spirit. And because you cared, you absorbed those impacts without noticing how much they were affecting you. Michael reveals that this person or situation created a spiritual fog around your intuition. You started second-guessing yourself. You started doubting what you sensed. You started suppressing your inner warnings. You started convincing yourself that you were exaggerating, imagining, or overreacting. But heaven says you were not. You were discerning. And the reason you doubted your intuition was because you trusted someone more than you trusted your own spirit. That ends now. Michael says the veil is thinning. The truth is rising. The revelation is nearing. And nothing, not fear, not confusion, not emotional attachment, and stop what heaven is about to show you. You may feel a strange tension lately, a sensation like something is shifting behind the scenes. That is because heaven is rearranging the spiritual atmosphere around you. They are exposing false intentions. They are removing emotional blindfolds. They are revealing motives that were once hidden. They are preparing to bring into the light what the darkness hoped you would never see. Michael says, the truth coming to you will not just open your eyes. It will restore your power. There is something about your light that someone could not handle. Something about your strength that intimidated them. Something about your heart that overwhelmed them. Instead of rising with you, they drifted into emotional patterns that weighed you down. You kept trying to hold everything together, but heaven never intended for you to carry someone who was refusing to stand on their own. Now heaven is intervening. Michael is positioning you for a breakthrough that begins with understanding. He says you will soon see a shift so clear, so undeniable, so spiritually charged, that everything inside you will awaken at once. A moment where you will finally understand why he cried. Because he saw how long you were overlooking the signs, how deeply you wanted to believe in someone's potential, how much you gave without receiving, how much you sacrificed to maintain peace that was never balanced. But heaven is not exposing the truth to hurt you. They are exposing it to free you. There is a new chapter waiting on the other side of this revelation, one filled with emotional stability, spiritual elevation, and a peace that will feel like a breath your soul has been aching for. You cannot step into that chapter with cloudy vision. That is why heaven is sharpening your awareness, strengthening your intuition, and cutting away the fog that kept you from seeing clearly. Michael says the moment of revelation is near. It will not come loudly. It will come precisely, intentionally, divinely timed. Your spirit will recognize it instantly. And once it arrives, you will never again question whether heaven has been guiding you. Hold your heart steady. The truth that approaches you is the very truth that will open the door to your next season. Type "I embrace heaven's revelation" in the comments if your spirit is aligning with what is unfolding. Blessing code 8844 is now released over your path. Before we go deeper, take a moment to like this message, share it with someone who needs clarity, comment to keep the energy flowing, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven is speaking. Your engagement helps this divine message reach more souls who are searching for truth and light. As this revelation moves through your spirit, let me speak directly to the hearts that feel stirred by this word. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not just giving. You are sowing into a spiritual assignment that carries heaven's message to those who feel lost in the dark. The scripture says, "Your seed will open the windows of heaven," and today that promise becomes alive for those who move with faith. I feel this strongly. Your act of support becomes a prophetic response, a declaration that you stand with God's word. This is the moment where your generosity becomes light to another soul's breakthrough. And as you give, may the oil of clarity, peace, and divine wisdom pour over your life in return. Step boldly into this sacred opportunity. My advancing one, there is a sacred heaviness resting in the air around you, a weight that does not feel burdensome but purposeful, intentional, and deeply divine. Archangel Michael stands before you now with the solemnity of a warrior who knows that a revelation is not simply approaching. It is already forming, already unfolding, already preparing to arrive in your life, like a sudden shift in the wind. His wings are drawn close to him, not out of sadness, but out of reverence, because he knows you are stepping into a chapter where truth becomes the foundation of everything you build from this moment forward. Michael says your spirit is stronger now, stronger than it has been in a long time. You may not feel it fully, but the old wounds that once silenced you no longer have the same power. The fears that once controlled your decisions no longer hold the same influence. The emotional attachments that once clouded your clarity are beginning to weaken their grip. Heaven says this is not because life became easier. It is because you have grown deeper. You have grown wiser. You have grown spiritually sharper. And most importantly, you have grown ready. Ready to see what you once avoided. Ready to hear what you once silenced. Ready to accept what you once denied. Ready to walk into what heaven has been preparing behind the scenes. Michael reveals that the emotional fog surrounding you has finally begun to lift. The confusion you once felt is loosening. The hesitation is dissolving. The uncertainty is fading. You are entering a phase of awakening, an internal opening that aligns you with truth, clarity, and the next steps of your divine path. And though you may not fully understand the shifts happening inside of you, heaven assures you they are intentional and orchestrated for your highest good. There has been someone or something in your life that has been absorbing your energy, drawing from your spirit, or influencing your emotions in ways you did not completely recognize. Their presence created a quiet imbalance within you, subtle enough that you could function, but deep enough to keep you from rising into your full spiritual strength. You felt responsible for maintaining the connection. You felt obligated to keep the peace. You felt emotionally tied to the outcome. But heaven says this connection has reached its spiritual expiration date. Michael speaks with unwavering clarity. You cannot move forward while tethered to what pulls you backward. Your spirit knows this. Your dreams have been hinting at it. Your intuition has whispered it. Your emotions have echoed it. Every uncomfortable feeling, every sudden moment of clarity, every shift in your energy has been heaven's way of guiding you toward this realization. The truth is not arriving suddenly. It has been building for a long time, waiting for you to finally acknowledge what you already sense. Heaven says there is a revelation coming that will feel like a missing puzzle piece sliding perfectly into place. It will not shock you. Instead, it will confirm everything your intuition has been trying to tell you. It will bring understanding to your past and direction to your future. It will clear the emotional haze that has been lingering around your heart. And when it comes, you will feel an instant release, as though a weight you carried unknowingly has finally been lifted. Michael tells you this revelation is necessary, not to break your heart, but to break your chains. Heaven is not exposing truth to hurt you. They are exposing it to empower you. Your destiny requires a level of spiritual clarity that you cannot achieve while carrying emotional distortions created by other people's unresolved struggles. You are stepping into a season where your energy must be purified, your focus must be restored, and your path must be cleared of anything that dims your light. Heaven says the person or situation connected to this revelation has been affecting you more deeply than you showed. Their words lingered in your thoughts. Their inconsistency created self-doubt. Their emotional instability made you question your intuition. Their presence sometimes left you confused, drained, or unsettled. You tolerated these feelings because you cared, but heaven says love should not cost you your clarity. Now, the truth is rising. Michael says the revelation will come in divine timing, perhaps through an unexpected message, perhaps through a sudden intuition, perhaps through a shift in someone's behavior, perhaps through a moment of internal realization so strong that you feel it in your chest. However it arrives, heaven wants you to be spiritually ready, emotionally grounded, and open to receiving it without fear or resistance. You are not stepping into loss. You are stepping into alignment. You are not stepping into loneliness. You are stepping into clarity. You are not stepping into confusion. You are stepping into truth. You are not stepping into fear. You are stepping into freedom. Michael assures you that what is being removed from your life is being removed because it was never meant to follow you into the future heaven is building for you. And what is being revealed will not harm you. It will heal you. It will protect you. It will reposition you. It will prepare you for blessings that require emotional strength and spiritual authority. Hold your spirit steady. You are approaching the most pivotal moment of this message, the moment where everything that felt uncertain begins to make sense. Heaven has prepared you for this. Archangel Michael has guided you toward this. Your soul has been growing toward this, and now you are ready. Type "I step into pure truth" in the comments if this message is resonating with your awakening spirit. Blessing code 3033 has now been released over your journey. My discerning one, there is a deep rumbling in the unseen realm around you, a quiet shaking that signals heaven is preparing to open a window into the truth you have been circling for far too long. Archangel Michael stands before you now in full stature, armored, unwavering, and radiant with a fierce clarity that has been waiting for the exact moment your spirit was strong enough to receive what he is about to bring forth. His presence resonates like a vibration through your chest, a reminder that every step you have taken, every shift in your emotions, every awakening in your intuition has been leading you toward this moment. Michael says you have entered a phase in your journey where your spirit is no longer willing to negotiate with confusion. You have outgrown the emotional fog that once clouded your understanding. You have outgrown the patterns that once kept you tied to uncertainty. You have outgrown the silence you used to sit and while hoping someone would suddenly rise to the level of your heart. This evolution has not happened overnight. It has been happening quietly, steadily, beneath the surface, like the slow strengthening of roots beneath a tree that is preparing to stand taller than ever before. Heaven has been shaping you in ways you did not always see. The moments that hurt you were sharpening you. The moments that confused you were teaching you. The moments that drained you were preparing you. And now, Archangel Michael says you are standing at the threshold of divine clarity, the kind that cannot be mistaken, dismissed, or pushed aside. He says this clarity is not coming through chaos. It is coming through revelation. Michael reveals that someone in your life, whether through their energy, their inconsistency, their emotional instability, or their self-centered behavior, has been quietly influencing your spirit. This influence created a subtle erosion in your emotional foundation, small cracks that eventually widened into confusion, doubt, and hesitation. You felt this. You sensed this. You lived with the heaviness of it. But because your heart is loyal, you continued giving grace, hoping, forgiving, and understanding far beyond what heaven ever asked you to endure. Heaven acknowledges the depth of your compassion. They honor your resilience. They honor your ability to love. But Michael says something must be understood. Compassion becomes self-destruction when given to someone who refuses to grow, refuses to heal, or refuses to take accountability for the emotional impact they have on your spirit. He says, you were never meant to lose yourself, trying to keep someone else from falling apart. You tried so hard to carry this connection, to interpret their behavior, to explain their inconsistencies, to protect their feelings even when they did not protect yours. And heaven saw all of it. Nothing you carried was unnoticed. Nothing you endured was wasted. Every emotional bruise, every confusion-filled moment, every draining interaction became part of the spiritual awakening that is now unfolding within you. Michael says you have been sensing the truth long before you fully understood it. Your energy shifts around this person or situation were signals. The heaviness in your chest was a warning. The strange emotional fluctuations were alerts. The foggy moments of doubt were divine red flags. But now, Heaven is lifting the blindfold entirely. They are removing the emotional distortion. They are clearing the static from your intuition. They are preparing you to see exactly what has been hidden from you, whether hidden through intention, negligence, or spiritual misalignment. There is a moment coming, a moment Michael calls the unveiling. It is not dramatic. It is not chaotic. It is not frightening. It is crystal clear. It is undeniable. It is instant. Heaven will reveal something, an interaction, a detail, a shift in someone's energy, a hidden truth rising to the surface, a moment of sudden inner knowing that will give you the clarity you have been asking for in prayer. Michael says this revelation may feel like confirmation rather than surprise. You already know part of the truth. You already feel the misalignment. You already sense the emotional mismatch. What is coming will not confuse you. It will validate what your spirit has been whispering all along. And once it arrives, you will finally understand why heaven has been preparing you with such precision, such intensity, such spiritual awareness. Heaven says, this revelation is not meant to break your heart. It is meant to break your chains. Your destiny requires emotional space. Your calling requires spiritual clarity. Your future requires peace that is steady, not unstable. The next chapter of your life cannot be built on uncertainty, emotional imbalance, or relationships that drain rather than elevate your soul. This is why heaven is intervening. This is why Michael has been standing guard. This is why you were led to this message at this exact moment. The revelation approaching you will not leave you feeling weak. It will leave you feeling lighter, stronger, clearer, more grounded than you have felt in a long time. It will feel like stepping out of a dim room into bright morning light. It will feel like your lungs expanding after years of shallow breaths. It will feel like the first moment of relief after carrying a weight you did not realize was so heavy. Michael says the spiritual fog around you is nearly gone. Your intuition is waking up fully. Your emotions are stabilizing. Your inner strength is rising. And the truth is approaching like sunrise. Slow at first, then suddenly undeniable. Stay present. Stay conscious. Stay connected to your inner voice. What is coming next will shift the atmosphere of your entire life. Type "I stand in full awareness" in the comments if this message is awakening clarity inside you. Blessing code 5155 is now released along your path. My discerning spirit, there is a sacred gravity settling into your atmosphere, a quiet but undeniable pull that tells you something in your life is nearing its unveiling. Archangel Michael stands before you with a presence that feels almost overwhelming, not because he wishes to intimidate, but because what he is preparing to reveal carries the weight of divine truth. His wings are slightly open now, as though he is shielding you from a wave of energy that is building behind him, an energy that holds the clarity, the understanding, and the spiritual confirmation you have been unknowingly preparing for. Michael says you have stepped into a crucial moment in your journey, a moment where heaven is ready to show you the truth behind the emotional tension that has been following you. You have felt it. You have questioned it. You have sensed that something was shifting, but you could not name it. And heaven says that is because this revelation was never meant to come through your own effort. It was meant to arrive through divine timing. He says your spirit has reached the level where you can receive the fullness of this truth without collapsing under its weight. For too long, you have carried emotional responsibilities that were never yours. You have interpreted silence that was not yours to decode. You have adjusted yourself to keep peace that was never reciprocated. You have lived in emotional limbo, waiting for someone or something to match your sincerity, your growth, your commitment, or your depth. And heaven says this imbalance has lingered for longer than it should have. But everything has a divine limit, and the limit has been reached. Michael speaks with authority as he says, "You have been living with a distortion around you, an influence that has clouded your intuition, but can no longer remain hidden. This distortion did not come from malice. It came from someone's wounds, someone's ego, someone's fears, someone's inconsistencies, someone's inability to meet you where your soul resides. Their presence created confusion in your energy field. Their behavior created doubt in your intuition. Their emotional instability made you question your own clarity. And because you cared, because you are loyal, because you hold on longer than most, you tolerated these things, even as your spirit was quietly signaling that something was off. Heaven says you must understand something essential. Your intuition was not wrong. It was not exaggerating. It was not misreading. It was not overreacting. Your intuition has been accurate from the beginning. What you felt was real. What you noticed was real. What your spirit whispered in moments of silence was real. And now, Michael is preparing to confirm everything your heart could not find the courage to accept. This confirmation, the divine revelation that has been building for so long, will bring a moment of intense clarity. Not destructive clarity, but liberating clarity. The type of clarity that reveals why you felt emotionally drained or spiritually foggy around a particular presence. The type of clarity that shows you what role someone was truly playing in your life. The type that reveals whether someone's influence was nurturing or draining, supportive or destabilizing, genuine or surface level. Michael says the revelation will not be confusing. It will be sharp, precise, and unmistakable. It will feel like a veil being lifted, like a window opening, like a truth finally stepping out of the shadows. This clarity may come through a shift in behavior you cannot ignore, a sudden change in the way someone interacts with you, a conversation that exposes their intentions, or a moment of divine insight that hits you without warning. Heaven says, you are being released from what was never tied to your destiny. This release will feel both gentle and powerful at the same time. It will not feel like heartbreak. It will feel like awakening. It will not feel like rejection. It will feel like redirection. It will not feel like loss. It will feel like freedom. It will not feel like confusion. It will feel like relief. Your spirit will recognize this instantly, because it has been waiting for this for longer than you realize. Michael says the emotional weight you have been carrying is not a burden, it is a signal. A signal that you have been holding onto something that heaven has already begun separating you from. And the moment the revelation arrives, you will feel your spirit rise with new clarity, new strength, new direction, and new alignment. You may even look back and realize that heaven has been sending signs all along. Signs through emotional shifts. Signs through dreams. Signs through sudden feelings of discomfort. Signs through words you overheard. Signs through changes in how someone treats you. Signs through moments when your intuition suddenly sharpened. But now, instead of subtle signs, heaven is preparing to give you a clear moment of truth. And Michael says the moment you receive this truth, you will step into your next spiritual threshold with undeniable power. Your discernment will heighten. Your emotional boundaries will strengthen. Your confidence will return. Your inner peace will stabilize. Your purpose will begin to unfold with greater clarity than ever before. This clarity will guide you toward a future that is not weighed down by emotional uncertainty, but guided by divine alignment. Heaven says what is coming will help you understand why so many chapters in your life unfolded the way they did, and why certain people were never meant to remain beyond a certain point. Stay present. Stay grounded. Stay spiritually aware. You are approaching the moment everything shifts. And trust me, what comes next will lift you in ways nothing else could. Type "I receive divine clarity" in the comments if your spirit feels this message rising within you. Blessing code 9292 is now released over your journey. My fully awakened one, there is a sacred stillness forming above your life right now. A calm so profound that even the spiritual realm seems to pause and watch what is unfolding within you. Archangel Michael stands before you in a brilliance that feels different. No longer the sorrowful guardian who cried for the message you once avoided, but the triumphant protector who knows that you are finally ready to hear what heaven has waited so long to reveal. His presence surrounds you like a shield of truth, glowing with the authority of divine justice and the clarity of spiritual awakening. You have reached the moment your soul has been walking toward, step by step, breath by breath, through seasons of confusion, heaviness, and silent battles that only heaven witnessed. Michael says the time of hidden truth is over. The veil that once blurred your clarity has been torn down. The emotional fog that kept you questioning your intuition has lifted. The weight that pulled at your spirit has loosened. And now, you are standing at the threshold of complete revelation. Heaven has been preparing this moment with delicate precision, aligning signs, shifting energy, removing distractions, sharpening your intuition, so that when this truth arrives, it fits into your spirit with perfect understanding. He says this final message is not about exposing someone to embarrass them or humiliate them. It is about exposing the spiritual influence they carry. For longer than you realized, you have been emotionally entangled with someone whose presence disrupted your spiritual rhythm. They brought inconsistency into places where you needed stability. They brought confusion into moments where you deserved clarity. They brought unpredictability into seasons where heaven was trying to make your path smooth. And though they may not have meant to harm you, the outcome was still the same. You were drained, clouded, and spiritually weighted. Heaven saw how hard you tried to carry this connection. Heaven saw how you tried to understand things that were never meant for you to fix. Heaven saw how you bent your heart to make room for someone who gave you fragments in return. Heaven saw how you kept choosing patience, empathy, and compassion, even when your spirit was silently breaking under the weight of emotional imbalance. But heaven also saw the truth you refused to acknowledge. This person was never aligned with your destiny. Their presence belonged to a previous chapter, not the next one. Their energy belonged to an older version of you, not the awakened spirit you are stepping into now. Michael says, you are not losing someone. You are being freed from an influence that was blocking your elevation. This truth will not devastate you. It will liberate you. It will not shatter your heart. It will strengthen it. It will not close your spirit. It will open it wider than ever before. You are stepping into a moment of divine clarity where everything begins to align. Why certain conversations felt heavy. Why your intuition kept warning you. Why certain interactions left you spiritually drained. Why your soul felt uneasy even when your heart tried to ignore it. Your spirit knew the truth long before your mind accepted it. That inner tension you felt was heaven's whisper. The sudden shifts in your emotions were heaven's alerts. The dreams that felt symbolic were heaven's messages. The moments of sudden clarity were heaven's nudges. And now, all of those signs are merging into one clear revelation. Heaven is removing what has been silently interfering with your peace. Michael says the revelation arriving to you, whether today, tomorrow, or in the days to come, will feel like a spiritual click, a moment where everything falls perfectly into place. It may be a revelation about someone's true intention. It may be a revelation about someone's emotional capacity. It may be a revelation about someone who hid more than they showed. It may be a revelation about a connection that served as a spiritual distraction rather than a blessing. However it comes, it will be unmistakable. You will not have to question or interpret it. You will simply know. And in that knowing, something inside you will shift. You will feel a calm rise through your body. You will feel a quiet strength settle into your spirit. You will feel the chains of emotional fog fall away. And you will realize that heaven did not take something from you. They returned you to yourself. Your clarity, your strength, your peace, your purpose. Michael says you are stepping into a new spiritual frequency, a place where you will attract people who match your depth, not your wounds, who honor your energy, not drain it, who speak truth, not confusion, who walk with purpose, not fear. And this new season requires you to walk with full clarity, full awareness, and full alignment with the truth heaven is revealing. This is why he cried earlier, because you were living beneath the truth your soul deserved. But now, he stands before you in triumph because you have risen into the truth heaven intended for you all along. You have completed the cycle. You have crossed the threshold. You have awakened. Type "I claim this divine awakening" in the comments. Blessing code 10,000 is now activated over your destiny. Take a moment to like this message. Comment to seal your alignment. Share this with someone who needs clarity, and subscribe so you stay connected to every message heaven speaks through this space. As you stand in this moment of divine awakening, let me speak from my spirit to yours. When you support this mission through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not just offering help. You are sowing into a prophetic movement that carries heaven's messages to souls who are exhausted, confused, and desperate for God's voice. Heaven honors those who sow into his work. The scripture becomes alive for those who give, releasing open heavens, multiplied favor, and divine clarity over their path. Hear this in the deepest part of your spirit. Your support becomes a spiritual seed that God himself breathes upon. Those who give into this message will rise with accelerated breakthrough and unmatched protection. Step boldly. Heaven responds to decisive faith.